Okay, just kidding. I'm back. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, whoever was watching can come back. I thought maybe I need to just step outside my comfort zone and force myself to stay on for the 30 minutes that my compote is simmering. Whew, this is really, really stepping out of my comfort zone because this is not my thing. I am not a public speaker at all, but my subscribers are family to me. So I'm going to just chat with you as if you were my cousins. And that's how I'm going to go with it. And so hopefully, maybe I can ramble for 26 more minutes while this is simmering and getting all the goodness out. Everything is perfectly blending together at this point. Oh man, I can't even describe the color of this. It's absolutely beautiful. It is so pretty. It's not, do you see that on the spatula? And that's not even doing it justice here online, like at all. It is so pretty. Hey, hey, if you're hopping on, if you were here earlier and I said come back in 30 minutes and it was only 3, you're not hallucinating. It really just was 3 minutes, not 30. As I was stating earlier, I'm just trying to step out of my comfort zone. This is my first live, and I just felt nervous and didn't want to just hear myself ramble for 30 minutes. So I'm really trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and just hang out with you like you're my cousin. So, because if you are a subscriber of mine, I do consider you family. I super appreciate you hanging out with me, and I don't want to just cut you off. So, but it would absolutely help me if you do have. Hi, cousin. If you do have anything to say, it will help me a lot if you put comments down below so I don't feel like I am just rambling on to myself. How are you, Greg? I was just talking about how my my family subscribers are used to me posting in the morning, and so you probably don't even know that I'm live. And no one really even commented saying that they would even watch me live when I put it out on the community tab. So here I am. But you and I can hang out. What do you have going on today? I am making elderberry syrup. So if you were not on the last live, because I can't see who's on live, only if you're like commenting down below. So if you don't know what I'm doing, I don't even know what I'm doing. But if you don't know what I'm doing, I can explain it over. Um, I'm making elderberry syrup, and in the first part of my live, I was I did all of the recipe ingredients, and now it's just simmering. So now it's just time for us to talk while it simmers for 30 minutes. But elderberry syrup is good for when you're sick, nothing major, and I have to be careful with what I say because this is a home remedy. So really try this at your own risk. This is you just following along with me or hanging out with me for me to show you what I personally do for my family or am trying to do for my family. This is not a you should do this type of thing, and this is not a how to kind of thing. This is just hang out with me while I show you what I'm about to try to force my family to do. But it's good for when you're sick, for when you're coughing. If you have, what did you say? Oh, okay. Well, shoot. So you're like, okay, I'll come back in 30 minutes. But then 3 minutes later, here I am. Thanks for coming back. But yeah, so elderberry syrup is good for like coughing, sneezing, not indigestion, respiratory. um, but again, full disclosure, this is a home remedy, and this is something that I prefer to do for my family, or at least trying. This is my first year trying. We have a whole bunch of wild elderberry plants growing throughout our property, and we also, before the flood, had bees, and we were able to harvest honey for the first time before they all got washed away. And so I have enough raw honey for this recipe. And Raw honey by itself is so beneficial health-wise. Um, so to have that encompassed with the elderberry for your sickness, there's so many positive things. And I I have to be careful again with what I say. So if you want to know some of the benefits, I can link it in the description box below once this live posts, along with the recipe that I'm using. If you're curious and if you're interested in possibly trying this for yourself. But like I said, try it at your own risk. This is just what I choose to do for my family. And if you wanted to hang out with me while I made it this evening, please do. If you haven't subscribed, not my cousin Greg, but if you haven't subscribed already and you are interested in homesteading content, please do join the family. I would greatly, I mean, I would love it. I'd be tickled to death if you were part of the family. So please do. And even if this live is boring you to death, I have other content that I post. We're building garden. We have, we're kind of like a sanctuary. I can't say no to stray animals that are needing a place to live out the rest of their lives. So they come here and I accept them. So we do a little bit of everything. We fish. We don't hunt. We don't hunt. First impression is the best impression. Well, that's true. So what type of an impression am I giving you? This is my very first live, so go easy on me. Welcome in, welcome in. Has anyone who's watching, which there's only 4 of you, does anyone homestead currently? Or are you interested in homesteading? And that encompasses anything, really. It doesn't, you don't have to have a homestead. You can just garden. You can even own bees when you're living inside the city limits. So, but welcome in. Let me know if you have any questions about this elderberry syrup while I have it simmering. We're here for another 20 minutes. But like I said earlier on the first live, bear with me, this kitchen looks a mess, and that's because of a couple of reasons. We were in the middle of building our house by ourselves. My husband and I are the only ones building this house, and in the middle of that, we were trying to finish the downstairs, and a flood came through and destroyed a lot. So now we're not only having to build, but we're now having to backtrack and rebuild, rip out the brand new flooring that we had just laid. Um, so the kitchen looks like a hot mess, and my apologies. It is driving my OCD insane. But there's not really anything a whole lot we could do because we ran out of money, and it's just my husband and I, and there's only so much we can do and get done in a day. Staying off the grid. Hi. How off grid are you? Are you completely off the grid, like with water and electric and all of it? And how many years or months have you been off grid? I'm interested to know. And also, have you ever tried elderberry syrup? Oh, you wish. So you haven't started yet? Are you homesteading though? Do you have a homestead? No. I wish we could say that we're 100% off grid, but when we came here, my son has a disability, so we absolutely had to have electricity. And the quickest way for us to get electricity was to get on the grid. But our water is off grid, our septic is off grid. So the only thing that is on the grid is our electrical. And that's just because we didn't know how to convert amps to wattages and know exactly what we needed to run our specific household. And we were having to build in such a quick time frame that we just foregoed. Is foregoed the right way to say it? We forewent. We decided against solar solar at the moment, but we want to revisit it. Oh, Why Alaska specifically? It's beautiful. Alaska is beautiful. Are you going to try homesteading in Alaska? Or is your job taking you there? Yeah, it is beautiful. Where I live, which is not where I'm from, we get the 4 seasons. I'm still to this day trying to get used to it because these summers where I'm from, it gets really hot, but it's like a dry heat. And here it's a humid heat. And I'm still to this day trying to get used to that. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. After it simmers for the 30 minutes, you have to let it cool to room temperature. And then once it's at room temperature, then we strain it, strain all of the juices in. And then once you do that, once it's completely cooled, you add your 1 cup of local, well, it doesn't say local raw honey. It doesn't have to be local raw honey. But I use our honey because there's so many health benefits if you use local raw honey. But you add that once it's completely cooled, and that's it. And then you just pour it into whatever container you want to pour them into to preserve them. The honey helps it have a shelf life without adding any additives to it. I wish there was a way that I could bring you guys on. You know how like TikTok, there's a way to have like a group chat so then I can see your faces too. It feels so one-sided. Feels so one-sided. I am kind of used to talking to myself though, but myself doesn't judge myself. And people these days, they judge. So I think that's the only really reason why I am even nervous to be online because people can be so unkind. And I don't do well with unkind. Looks like everyone but one person has dropped off. Well, for no matter how long you stay on, I appreciate you being here to even trying to give me a try. I'm not for everybody. And I'm probably a little dry tonight because I'm a little nervous and it's my first one. So don't really have a whole lot to say. I would like to get to know everyone. I do love getting to know people, especially people that want to hang out and be a friend of mine. I think it needs to be a little bit hotter. Okay, so if I have bored everyone to tears, then I may get off and wait for this to be done. You're in the Ozarks? Where do you think I am? I don't know if you're a subscriber, so I don't know if you have a feeling that you know where I might be, but we're neighbors. You don't want to see my face. Oh, stop it. Of course, I want to see your face. I am really close. Are you familiar with the Twin Lakes area? We're we're neighbors. I actually um, went to Branson the other day. Now it's too hot. Have you tried any home remedies? Square Body Life, have you tried any home remedies? I'm doing elderberry syrup, which is so great for the immune system, especially if you're not feeling well. No one is very talkative today, which makes me be the one that has to talk, which I guess I should because I'm the host. Just makes me feel a little awkward. I don't think this is actually going to have to cook that long. I'm going to look back at the recipe because it already looks like it's the consistency that it needs to be. And as I stated earlier, I just use recipes as like a jumping off point. I don't actually follow them like to a T, which can be a good or a bad thing. But I'm going to see how important it is to stay on this recipe if I could find it. Because I do know that elderberries can be toxic. So I don't want to like undercook it and then make my whole house sick. It says the liquid has to reduce by almost half, but it says to cook from 30 to 45 minutes. And we're only at 20 minutes and it's already almost there. Okay, I'll see what 10 more minutes does. I think it's just you and I, Greg. What do you want to talk about? You get to see little bits and pieces of my life. So share some of yours with me. You spelled my name right. Have I ever said, I know I've said my name, but have I spelled it out? That is amazing. If I haven't, that is amazing because no one ever gets it right. Unless I know you, because your name is familiar. But then again, you are my cousin, so. Yeah, it's getting pretty thick, so I don't know if I'm going to allow it to go for 9 more minutes. Okay. Well, no one is chatting. No one but Greg is watching. And he doesn't want to talk back with me. Should I end the live? Oh, there you are. Maybe I do know you. Do I look familiar? Northwest Arkansas. I'm so bad at directions, but literally just yesterday, I went to Springdale. Is that Northwest? I went to Springdale, so was I close to you? Are you are you close to Springdale or do you live in Springdale? No way. I was just there yesterday with my son. Never met you. So I'm making elderberry syrup. It's good for, I'm careful with what I say on live. I'm making it personally for my family. Uh-oh, I froze. I'm making it personally for my family. It's elderberry syrup. If you didn't catch that, my battery's about to die. Oh no. So, elderberry syrup is super good if you are sick, if you're not feeling well. It helps your immune system. Um, make it at your own risk. I'm just showing you what I'm doing for my family. So when my family has like respiratory issues when they're sick, coughing, sneezing, runny nose, all of that, it is good for, especially because I'm using local raw honey, our own honey. Um, and honey by itself has so many good health benefits, but I'm adding it into my elderberry syrup. And we just use that when we're sick or we're going to. This is our first time using it, but it's good for so many things. And you can take it when you're sick to make you feel better, to have like a more natural healing. Okay. So how far away is that from Springdale? I've heard Silent Springs. I bet it's super close. That is so crazy. What a small world. So we're all family. Like I said, we're probably legitimately our cousins. But your name is super familiar. Like I met someone here that has your name, so that's wild. 15 miles. Man, we were so close. Took me 2.5 hours to get there, so it wasn't very far. So I gave you a hint of where I'm at. Maybe don't share it. Square Body Life, have you ever tried any kind of natural healing? I'm assuming so if you're into fitness. I may be forced off this live, so man, I want to chat more now that you guys are chatting with me. But if you didn't see earlier, when I'm done, I end up putting them in these little bottles, and it makes probably about 7 of these, and these will probably last us all year for our ailments. So you want to make enough to last you all year, especially if you're picking wild elderberries, because you know once they're gone, they won't come back until next year like everything else. So you need to make enough to last you the whole year so that you can make more. But my phone is going to die, and now I'm not going to be able to show you me finishing adding the honey and then putting it into these jars. So what a shame. Way to prepare. Oh, that stinks. I didn't realize this was going to take up so much battery, and I don't have a way to plug in my phone where you're standing. So this is the end result. It's absolutely stunning and beautiful. It's like a wine color. Not that the color matters, but it's just stunning, and it tastes really good, and it's good for you. So I can't say that I'm encouraging you to try it. You do you, boo. You do what you feel led to do. And I can just tell you what it does for our family and why we like it so much. So you did fine. Thank you. I was trying to chat my way through it. We have 4 minutes left. And I stayed on and I encouraged myself, and you helped me. But now I have to get off because my phone is about to shut down. So I'm not even going to be able to show you the finished product. We have 3 minutes left. This is where we're at. Like I said, really quick before it shuts off, after that, I'm going to strain the elderberries out of the serum or the syrup, pour it into here, get all the berries into here, throw them out or put them in compost. And then it's just going to be the syrup, the juices, and then you're going to add your local honey to it, your 1 cup of local honey once it's completely cooled. And then you pour it into whatever kind of container that you put it in to preserve it. The shelf life is at least a year because of the honey. So, well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm so sorry that we're cut short because of my phone. I was just getting in the groove of talking with you guys. Oh, great. Let me step back. Let me step way back. Well, if you haven't already, and if you want to hang out with me, subscribe to my channel. I would sure love to have you as part of the family. And maybe if you guys are actually interested in hearing me gab, I will try to plan to do another live. Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Bye. Oh, yeah. Be blessed and be a blessing.